Got Your Back Pod Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. Yes, they're a little bit beat up, but the Edmonton Oilers just laid a whooping on the number one team in the National Hockey League. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Ryan Rishaug from TSN here. And Jason Strudwick is standing by. Chris Sabunia at the controls, getting ready to break down a 7-1 win for the Oilers over the Minnesota Wild. They break that 0-for-6 streak against the Wild. They have won 7 of 8, 4 straight. Special teams on fire tonight, and so is the big guy, Leon Draisaitl. But some concern, what's up with Evan Bouchard? Not a good look late in that game. Welcome to the show, folks. We are live streaming on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch for some reason. And as always, our show is brought to you by Play Alberta. When you gamble, use your game sense. Play Alberta makes it easy to set deposit limits, time limits, and more so you can play casino games and bet on sports safely, securely, and responsibly. Everything you need to know is at playalberta.ca. I'm tucked in nice and cozy in the Adrenaline Diesel studio here in Sherwood Park. It's a Caterpillar recognized and authorized dealer and repair facility. For expert service for your Cat engine, visit adrenalinediesel.ca. All right, we check in with the man, Jason Strudwick. Okay, Struddy, for anybody that wasn't listening, we're up pretty quick after postgame here. So here's Chris Knobloch on Evan Bouchard. Oh, I didn't label my clips again. One sec.
I think we were, no, I don't. Obviously, we're going to fly home, get checked out. Hopefully it's something minor, but probably won't be able to tell till tomorrow.
All right, there you have it. No update from Chris Knobloch post-game, but we'll get it looked at when he gets back here. Struds didn't love the look of that. I think everybody, you don't need to be an expert lip reader to see him go, my knee, when he was sitting on the bench there when the cameras cut to him on the replay. Not an ideal scenario here for Evan Bouchard.
Hated the hit. Absolutely hated the hit. Time of game, consider it's Hartman. He's going back, and he intentionally hits the player into the net. But don't tell me it was by accident. I didn't see it there. Hartman knows. This guy has been in trouble with the law before. I hated that hit. Hated it. And, so now Bouchard could be out. Now it could be whatever. Whether it's 2 minutes or 20 games, it's just a stupid play. Absolutely stupid play. I think someone should have responded. That was on the ice. I don't think Hartman played again after. I didn't see him come out. Didn't mean he didn't. But I absolutely hated that play. Now, the flip side is Bouchard's got to know you got to look over his shoulder, or it's Hartman. This guy has been an idiot before, and you brace yourself for contact. He wasn't ready at all. And I get it. It's a 7-1 game or 6-1 game at that time. I get it. But I hated that hit by Hartman. And it was intentional. For sure, without a doubt, in my mind.
Yeah, completely agree with you, Struds. Like, when you're skating up from behind a player and he's in that kind of proximity to the net, you know that you have a player vulnerable in that situation. And if you hit him a certain way, you're putting the goalie at risk, you're putting the player at risk. It's an awkward distance from the end boards. Right. I agree with you, buddy. It was a cheap, kind of a dirty play. And, should Bouchard have been bracing himself a little bit and understanding that guy plays on that team? Maybe, but still. Did not love that at all. And, that's Hartman, right? He's he's probably one of those guys you don't mind having on your team, but has those rat-like tendencies in his game, Struds.
It's always scary. Like, I always, when you get down to a game that's out of hand one way or another, you never know what the other guy and the other team's thinking, right? And I've been up and I've been down. So, like, when you're down, you're pissed and you're looking for a free shot at anybody. And it's kind of gotten better. That's kind of left the game a little bit, but it's not completely out the game. And so you can never trust anybody when you're up or down. You just can't do it. It's just because you take it casually, right? And you're kind of like, okay, this game's over. Let's just get through it. And then someone decides it's not a no-hitter anymore. That's what happens. So didn't like to hit it at all from Hartman. I didn't like it at all. and people are still mad about the Pietrangelo slash on Draisaitl, and people want retribution for all this different stuff. This is one you get him back. You go and you get him back. You call him off the bench, tell the coach to put him out, whatever. You get him back right in the moment at that second, because there's no doubt in my mind that was intentional. Hated the hit. Hated it.
Oilers aren't really built that way. Like, they've got some guys that are willing, and they got some guys that'll answer the bell, but they're not exactly conditioned to react to this stuff throughout their lineup.
Dave
right?
Semenko. Hartman isn't Dave Semenko, right? He's 5'10", 190 pounds. You could send out the stick boy and he put up a good fight. So let's look through the roster of possibilities that are out there. Kulak, yes, could have done it. Zach Hyman, yes, he could have. Paul Kozin, yes, he could have done it. Connor Brown, yes, he could do it. Corey Perry, yes, he can do it. Like, there's lots of guys. There is zero fear of this player when you fight him because of his size. Yeah, he's scrappy, but you need to respond. That is a dirty hit that needs a response in the moment, not talking about it later. Oh, we should have got it. That is a dirty hit. And now one of your players might be out for who knows how long.
All right. Struddy's World brought to you. I love it, Struddy. Love the fire early on in the show. Yeah, no, but hey.
As soon as I saw it, I was pissed off. Like, I don't often feel emotional when I watch the game, but I get mad because it was a needless hit, but you could just see he was a predator looking to get someone, and he got his guy. He got someone. He did his job. Congratulations, right? So victim, you can victim shame a bit. You got to be ready, but it's just, come on. That is a dirty hit. Awful.
Yeah, I'm with you, pal. All right, lots more to break down from this game, so let's dive right into the breakdown brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. The Drive at Home holiday event is here. Get up to $13,600 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Laramie Crew Cab. Take a look at these vehicles. Super sharp on the inside, beautiful interior, powerful, sleek, just fantastic vehicles. See your local Ram dealer today. Okay, Strud, so we will await news over the next couple of days. Oilers are flying home tonight. They've got the afternoon game on Saturday. I would imagine that they'll be skating tomorrow because you can't take tomorrow off and then have a noon game. So I would expect there'll be something on the ice tomorrow with the Oilers, and we'll get an update at that time. Moving on to the rest of the game, buddy. There was lots to like about this game, and yes, the Minnesota Wild were beat up. I think we sort of have to place that caveat on this because they were missing some pretty key pieces of their lineup, from Eriksson Ek, who's a hell of a player, Brodin, Middleton went out early on in this game as well. So they were definitely missing some important pieces, but still, this is a top team in the NHL. I love the intention that the Oilers came out with. Like, they came out and dictated early on in this game. They were ready for this game. They didn't wait to see how hard the night was going to be. They dove in.
They sure did. And they took advantage of a lineup that was missing some significant pieces. Not Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Eriksson Ek, Milton, and Brodin. Those three guys would have stopped or slowed down some of the Oilers' cycle. The Oilers had the cycle going on tonight, and it's not a traditional cycle, but everybody was in on it, up and down and over and like handling the puck. And they looked like green pylons out there. And those three guys, they do a really good job of stopping or slowing down cycles. Now, to be fair, the Oilers are missing Arvidsson. They're missing, they're missing Vander Kane. So, important pieces, probably not the same type of pieces that we're talking about, but with the Wild. But the Oilers did not stop. They looked relentless, and they didn't care. They were going all night long, driving the net, cycling, using the D jumping off the blue line, going back door, low to high, east, west. Like, it was all over the place. That was just a cycling clinic put on by the Oilers tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree. They were banging, man, right from the early going. Just legs were pumping. And buddy, Leon Draisaitl absolutely led the charge in all facets of the game. Like, that guy's night tonight, when they talked about it a bit on the broadcast, when that guy hits his top end game, Struds, he's the second best player on the planet. Like, he is phenomenal when he hits his top end game like he did tonight, the way he controls the play, controls the puck. He's so different than McDavid. So different, but so effective and so powerful. And tonight I loved it, Struddy, because it was at both ends, buddy.
Yeah, I'll challenge you, actually. Tonight, he wasn't the second or third best player. He was the best player in the world tonight because a lot of people believe that Dollar Bill is the best player so far in the league this year. Connor's been widely acknowledged as the best player. So the top two players, I believe, in the planet or to the top some were there tonight. And Leon was better than both of them by long ways. And I'm sure Connor would say the same thing. Dollar Bill might not. I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. And Leon's been playing well in doing this. But tonight, his feet were moving a ton. He was skating and pushing guys off him at the same time, driving the puck. And when your guy is that big, that strong, and that skilled, and his feet are moving, trust me, it is really hard to slow him down. And he just does what he wants. And tonight, he literally did whatever he wanted on the ice. He controlled the tempo. And I say it again, he was the best player on the ice with two people who, for sure, won in Dollar Bill Kirill, who was acknowledged as probably a Hart Trophy finalist, and another guy who was yearly in that conversation. He was number one, not two or three. Number one tonight, player on the ice by a while, by a distance, not a while. That's the time management.
Ron Steele. Zuby, is Ron Steele new on the show? I don't know that I've seen that handle before. He chimes in saying, watching Leon going like this is incredible. Pretty amazing to watch his power. For sure. He just does it in such a powerful way. I loved his backtracking tonight. I loved right after they stayed on the ice after he got the goal. Or no, which one was it? Oh, after the Kapanen goal. So Draisaitl has that dominant shift, great feed in the offensive zone. They score. Kapanen scores. They leave them on the ice, and Draisaitl takes a goal away at the other end, like 10 seconds later into that shift with a great backtrack. I saw him down below the hash marks in his own end, stripping a puck in front of his own net. I was like, wow, Draisaitl is feeling it tonight. That is deep in his own end, where on some nights he doesn't spend a ton of time.
So, you know, when you have a skilled player that works hard like that and uses a stick in the right area, it's great because when they knock it or dislodge the puck or whatever, they're going to keep it on their stick. You know, when I went back there, I was just trying to make that thing explode. I didn't really want it on my stick. I was just trying to get it off my stick or get off the opponent's stick and just have it become like a jump ball. And now we can all go and get it. Well, he is so strong. He just gets it and he's sure-handed, he gets it. And now he transitions right away. So that time from, man, I'm a defender to all of a sudden now I'm a forward or an offensive player. It's like this, the transition's this quick. And that's what makes him so dangerous out there. One of the many
Louise Johnson. Yeah, for sure, buddy. Getting the Weiss Johnson sound box here. Get your home holiday ready with Weiss Johnson. Then a new furnace installed before Christmas. They're offering free duct cleaning. Whether your old furnace is given up or you're looking to upgrade for a cozier holiday, they got you covered. And your ducts, too. Visit Weiss-Johnson.com for more details. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Chris Knobloch certainly appreciating the play of the big guy.
Leon one is really good. You know, I think of all our players who really stood out tonight, like I can't say that anybody had an off game. Everyone was really good, but Leon really was at another level. You know, his two line mates really helped out. Puck holes and Kapanen, those three have been playing well, but Leon last week or so has really been on top of his game.
Noted Canuck fan, Matt Blom on the stream tonight says Leon is so complete. He's the center in the old NHL video games we'd always trade for on day one of GM mode. Yeah, you got to get that franchise star in place on day one of GM mode. There was another one saying something about Struddy being on fire. Zuby, I lost track of that one. Somebody was asking if you were drinking Pepsi again tonight. Nope. Noting that you were on fire early on here in the podcast. So love that energy.
I like this one too.
Oh, Todd Gack, kids are sleeping, Struds. Settle down. Todd, just turn the volume down, bud. You don't have to have Struds on surround sound. We don't need Struddy to turn down. We need every ounce of the Struddy energy tonight. Love it. Starting over at 61 says Struddy's pissy tonight. So there you go. Strud's bringing the energy early here. So moving on from Leon Draisaitl, I will submit this to you. 2 assists from Vasily Podkolzin tonight. Struds, Vasily Podkolzin is going nowhere out of the top 6 for a long time, man. He is going to have to go dry, and his game is going to have to go so sour for them to move anybody into that spot ahead of Podkolzin. If he continues to play like this, never mind the 2 assists. if he continues with the quality of play, I would submit to you, he has been arguably one of the most, if not the most consistent players night in, night out, where you get exactly the same thing from him, effort-wise, energy-wise, attention to detail-wise. He's going nowhere, regardless, sorry, Brownie, of what the production looks like on that line.
I love the word you use, consistent, but I'm going to use another one, effective. Right, he's really effective player, and we've outlined the things we like about him: his puck retrieval, his way he uses his body, his understanding of how to play with Leon. Continue moving around, and get not just have to feed it to Leon all the time, but when he's open, give him the puck. You don't need the puck on your stick; he wants it on his, and that makes Leon happy. I've said it before; I'll say it again. Leon would not have him on his line if he didn't like playing with him for this long. Especially, this isn't, Stamkos coming over, right, and playing beside him. This is a guy that was relatively unknown, and he's worked his way in this position. So I believe strongly that Leon enjoys playing with this player, and he said it as much post-game, not recently. So I think that this guy is continuing to grow, and now the challenge for him, or not the challenge, but the work in front of him is to continue to develop a finishing touch, and understanding where Leon needs to be. And I would like to think that Leon is talking to him. I'm sure he is working with him. Hey man, work shooting from here, working on this here, figure these things out. And because if he can add any element of scoring more consistently, the Oilers will have found gold in a 4th round trade with one of their biggest division rivals.
Yeah, for sure. And when Victor Arvidsson comes back, I'm very interested to see what that trio looks like. They've spent a little bit of time together this season, not a lot, some small sample sizes there, and I'm really interested to see how that looks. And no question in my mind, that's the line that gets put together. Arvidsson will get the chance to get right back in there with Draisaitl at some point. Okay, let's get to, oh, by the way, honorable mention here for Kapanen. Nice finish. Continues to skate well, Struds. I believe that Kasperi Kapanen is giving the Oilers pause about what to do when Arvidsson comes back. He is now playing well enough night in, night out that they're going to have to think long and hard about exposing him to waivers and sending him down and potentially losing him. And, Derek Ryan's winning a ton of draws. I get it. But if this guy keeps playing this way, they're going to have to think about keeping the extra forward because he's been good.
Yes, but I can't remember if it was you or Brownie made the comment. If he's not playing with Leon, is he still an effective player? Right? If he's on the 4th line or 3rd line, is he still as effective? He skates and he hits, so maybe there is something.
He's killing
there,
penalties too. He's killing penalties as well.
Fair point. So maybe he is, right? We have yet to see that because we haven't seen him anywhere but beside the player that's arguably playing the best in the world right now. You and I could be beside there and probably have some good shifts beside Leon. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But the nice thing is that there is depth, and you already have that depth instead of having to trade for depth. That's speed, and it can help you out in a tight pinch. So get ahead of ourselves a bit because Roberts is not back yet.
Yeah. By the way, Oilers picking up Alex Regula off of waivers. We will talk about him and the blue line in our second segment. Strud's got to get to Ty Emberson. Nice night from Ty Emberson, Struds. And if anybody's worried about him, because we all saw that shot of him on the bench with the gauze stuffed up his nose and wondering what might he be looking like post-game. Take a look. We got to grab the screenshot, this courtesy Oilers Plus, during his post-game interview. Struds, could have been worse, buddy. That's actually looking not too bad.
Yeah, he looks good. I don't really notice a lot there. Sometimes you get hit and your nose bleeds. It doesn't mean your nose is broken, but his nose looks pretty straight there.
Yeah,
so
say.
I mean, Ty, he seems so confident on and with the puck, or on the ice and with the puck, and that he's defending well, killing penalties, and his skating is. I think it's actually improved since the beginning of the year, but the reason I think it's improved is that he's understanding how to skate and where to be at the right times, and how to complement his partner. And, Kulak gets around the ice really well. So you have 2 pretty mobile guys out there. And as a partnership, I know that Kulak's been, kind of playing with everybody, but, you just think back to the beginning of training camp and what we saw. And I was like, okay, all right, it's first game. And then you're okay, well, maybe we'll get going, and it wasn't pretty, but he's just come along, and that internal growth that Ken Holland used to talk about, we've seen it from him. We've seen it from Paul Colson, two guys that were, brought in to replace others that were pretty hard guys to replace, obviously.
I can't help but think maybe the head coach knew all along, Struds. So when camp started, we were just scratching our heads going, why is Emberson not playing any games with Nurse? Like, Nurse got back late, and when Nurse came back, Emberson was not playing with him. They had other guys there. Well, it turns out it only took 3-4 regular season games for the determination to be made, and you nailed it on this show. You said, leave him in the third pairing. He's got to be in the lineup every single night. I think you and I were on that hard. Enough of this second pairing stuff. He's clearly not there, and that's okay. And I wonder if the head coach knew that from the start, and maybe that's why he had him playing where he was playing. Yeah. So he's been growing and thriving in this consistent role. He's been doing a great job. Struds, there's guys that'll are willing to drop the gloves and just kind of do the best they can and make it look good. That guy, despite I think he took that shot in the nose early in that fight. He was swinging angry and aggressive, and that is a courageous fight. That's not just dropping the gloves to make it look good. That takes courage to do what he did.
100%. So the courage you're talking about or the type of fight I talk about, it's wide open. Like, there's very little defense, right? You're not tying up the guy's other hand. You're like, I'm going to try to knock you down, and you're going to try to knock me down. And that was a very wide open fight for, two guys that aren't they're not fighting 25 times a year. So, good for him. He's getting in there. He kind of just took the fight. And I like that. I like that he did that, because it's just adding another skill to, or another wrinkle to his game. And now he's done it. He knows he can do it. He doesn't have to go up and fight, a monster. But, it's just that it's nice that it's there. And his teammates know it's nice that it's there, because if there's a problem, you're like, okay, maybe this guy can help out tonight in a smaller way.
Yeah. Throw that picture back up, Zuby. Let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox and play some Ty Emberson. We'll let the sound run for a question or two, because we don't hear a ton from him on the show, but this is courtesy Oilers Plus and Paige Martin, who does a fantastic job for them on the road, asking some of the questions. Here's Ty Emberson post-game.
It was just a face-off, and he asked if I wanted to go, and I said sure. So there wasn't a whole lot behind it. It was more just making sure that the energy was there in the building, and it was making sure that we were going to keep the energy up.
A fight for you and an assist. What can you say about kind of where your game is at, and especially how you delivered tonight?
I think it's in a good spot right now. I think just as the season has gone on, I've built some confidence up in finding ways to contribute, whether it's on the PK or just playing hard 5-on-5. So I think it's in a good spot, and just trying to keep building on that.
Quite the bout. Looks like you got a little left over there for you.
Yeah. I was gonna say he got some in. I think I got some in. So I don't know if I did, but it was a good fight.
All right, there you have it.
You had some family in the building. How special is it to have a night like you did in front of them?
It's exciting. Obviously, this is a rink that I grew up coming to when I was a little kid, so it's fun to be able to play a game in it and have all my family and friends in the stands.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Ty. Great game from Ty Emberson tonight. Would have loved to have seen him get the goal, the Gordie Howe. That would have capped off a fantastic night, but really solid from him. Okay, Struddy, let's do Relentless Player, and then we're going to get to a break. Zuby, we'll push the YouTube poll into the next segment as well. But for now, let's get to our Relentless Player of the Night, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services, an Edmonton charity relentless in helping young people rise above life's challenges. From mental health struggles to finding a steady job, they offer the support youth need to build brighter futures, connecting them to employment opportunities, equipping them with essential life and work skills. Visit ucan.ca to donate today to a truly fantastic local organization. Struddy, we got Kucherov. Some were saying on the stream here, is he up to 6 points now in this game?
Jeez.
Are you you might have to change plans on the fly here, bud. Draisaitl had a great night, but we got a 6-pointer happening.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. I didn't realize that, so I will change on the fly. I thought last time I checked he was at 4, so 6. You get 6 points.
Let's double check.
Or even
I'm going to double check to make sure. Yeah.
You deserve the Relentless Player of the Night. Pretty impressive what he's doing. They put a bit of beat down on tonight. My second default position was going to be Ty Emberson, which I don't think would have been no surprise to anybody.
A goal and 5 apples from Nikita
Jeez.
Kucherov tonight. 8-3. An absolute stomping by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Braden Point had 4 points. Anthony
That's
Cirelli
crazy.
back in the lineup, a goal and 2 assists. Jake Gensel with the hattie as the Flames get absolutely lit up. 8 goals on 26 shots tonight. So,
Rough one.
wow. All right, that was your relentless player of the night. Let's get to a break. When we come back, we got takeaways. We've got Struddy's World. We got brownie points. We got our core blue liners. Ask us in it. So much show is left, so stay with us here on Got Your Back.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
All right, time now for our takeaways brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. Horizon Ag and Turf is your one-stop shop for all things snow removal. And with the end of the year approaching, they're clearing out their Ariens walk-behind snow blowers. Save up to $718 on in-stock walk-behind blowers and be ready to tackle whatever Mother Nature throws at us this winter. Visit your local Horizon Ag and Turf dealership today. Lots of good action on the stream tonight, Zuby. We got a great crowd. Ask Us Anything is going to be fantastic tonight. A little love for Troy Stetcher. Some are asking why we haven't been giving Stetcher a lot of love. Penner's Pancakes agrees. Says, I agree. More love for Stetcher. He's been super solid and making smart plays. I agree with Penner's Pancakes. There's been so much talk about Nurse and Kulak, and we're about to do that again. But Struds, let's pause for a moment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Stetcher a little here, bud. Small guy. But he's taking advantage of opportunity and really flat out won the job because we see Dermott on waivers.
You know, he came here last year and was probably never right, obviously, with his foot. Was it a cyst on his foot or something? Never right. Then he gets that done and comes back and signs again here in the offseason. And to me, what I see is a player that is just fairly consistent in how he plays. And I think that's what you need. When you're a 5th, 6th, 7th defenseman, you've got to be predictable. So the coach knows what she's getting from you. And Stetcher is very competitive. He skates well. He moves the puck pretty well. He's just undersized. And that is what's limited probably his career a little bit, is just that size factor. But he's all those things I mentioned before. Nice to see him get now. What is that? Is that 2 goals in 3 games? I think he has.
Yeah, we'll have to check that, but
he's got 2 goals on the year anyways. And so that's a bonus, right? That's a bonus. So we're talking about, we've talked a lot about they need help with Nuge scoring. Well, he's starting to score. Hyman is back. He's scoring. They've gotten goals from the D. You got Connor Brown scoring, Derek Ryan tonight. Like, there have been different players chipping in with goals. And it doesn't mean your big guys can't have good nights, but does it mean the rest of the group can contribute? And when you get goals from unlikely sources, it's just beautiful.
On Stetcher, I think he got hurt after he was already with the team. And it was, I think, during some of the time where he wasn't playing, ended up getting banged up to the point where he was no longer an option for them. I felt he was underused last year. I thought that he deserved more of a look after the trade deadline than he got. I thought they wasted what looked like some good games from him and never really truly engaged him properly. I recall you guys almost laughing me off the pod. So I'm happy to see Stetcher doing it this year because I saw it in him last year, and I didn't think they leaned into this player enough, Struds. I said that.
So this will say the same thing as I said to you last year. Who were you taking out, or whom would they take out?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember what the back and forth was. I think it was Desharnais, right, with the penalty kill that, that would have been the option. So it would have been Vinny Desharnais, and obviously the penalty kill was going really, really well.
Yeah, first line PK. So there's Ekholm and Bouchard not coming out. You had Nurse and CC, and then you had Kulak and Desharnais. Desharnais was first line PK. So who was the guy you were going to take out to put in somebody you just traded for?
Yeah, there were times where we were talking about who could go in, who should go in.
No, you were talking about it. We weren't talking about it.
All right. You just rammed that "I told you so" right back down my throat. I love it. I love it. I thought maybe I'd be able to squeeze one in there, and Struds is just not having it tonight.
I'm
He's
on
not
fire,
giving
guys.
an inch tonight.
No,
I love it.
That hit just fired me right up.
No kidding.
Bothers me. I hate that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I want to talk about Brett Kulak again. I do. There was a play he made, Struds, where he kind of had to reach to pick off a pass, skating towards his own net. A guy was all over him, makes an elusive little move, spins up ice, fires the puck up ice. Like, the confidence that Brett Kulak is playing with right now, it's like his absolute best hockey as an Oiler has been in the playoffs, and he has taken that playoff performance, that playoff level. He's brought it to the regular season, but never mind that, he's brought it to the right side during the regular season. The swing on this team from a defensive standpoint, with Darnell Nurse playing the way he's playing, simultaneously at the same time, Brett Kulak doing what he's doing, it is a massive swing for this team when it comes to their blue line, Struds.
It sure is. So the nice thing about Kulak is he's such a good skater. He's just a beautiful. I remember interviewing him before, and I said, you're a very good skater. How'd you get there? He's like, well, I was always pretty good. And I made a conscious decision. I would even work harder on it to become a better skater. And it shows. But he's also a big, strong guy. This isn't a 5'9" player that can really skate. So when he gets a half step on you, when you're retrieving a puck like you're talking about, he can outmuscle you and now make his little deceptive move to get away from you. You're not going to be able to push him off the puck. So you're right. Those two things have been massive for him. Like, so you're, internal improvement, again, to use Ken Holland's language, that's what those two guys have done. They throw in Ty Emerson, who's improved, every couple of weeks or whatever you want to call it. There's been every quarter we're giving him a better grade. You have three guys that really kind of upped their game and made this back end a lot stronger against a pretty good offensive team tonight. Even though they're missing, Oliver, what's it? I keep mixing up with Oliver.
Joel Eriksson Ek. Yeah, you're good. Joel Eriksson Ek. Yeah. Big, strong, awesome player. Really good player. Really would have made a difference for them tonight for sure. The other thing on Emberson, so when Desharnais was lost, we talked about one of the toughest areas that was going to be felt was going to be on the penalty kill because he was big and rangy and he was a seaweed man, right? So now in Vancouver, I've spoken with some colleagues in Vancouver, it has not gone well. Like, I'm not sure if he scratched tonight or not, but he's in healthy scratch territory, and it has not gone well at all. And you wish good things for the big man. He's a great story, and you wish good things for Vinny Desharnais. But Ty Emberson has come in, and Struds, when everybody's rested, Ty Emberson is the first set of blue liners they send over the boards to kill a penalty. I wouldn't have necessarily called that back when they made that trade for him, that he would be the guy that would be able to replace those really valuable minutes from the big guy on the penalty kill.
Yeah, really, really crazy that this is what's happening. And, you've replaced him for a lower dollar amount, right? So let's just say he makes $1 million. I think Emerson's less on that, but let's just say that. So that's $1 million less than you're paying, or you would have paid Desharnais. He's a better skater. Obviously not as big. But he's getting the job done on the PK. Now tonight, obviously they got scored on, but it's really important to be able to replace players with lower cost players, and continue to move forward with the group. And so that was some shrewd trading that was going on there by these guys, by obviously the new group.
Yeah, for sure. Vinny is scratched tonight in Vancouver, by the way. And Matt Blom, as I mentioned, follows the Canucks closely, talked about how much he's been struggling this year, just has not been a fit. And I think you just look at all of his stats and everything. It just, kind of chase the money a little bit, Struds, and you don't blame the guy, right? He's an unrestricted free agent. You got to strike while the iron's hot. You understand it, but sometimes fit means a little more than that extra whatever 100K it's going to be, right? Like just going where the fit works.
And you're valued and people understand how to use you. So, I think this is a little bit different than Klim Kostin because Klim was so young. And my advice to him was to stay with the Oilers, you've got a toehold in the league, continue to play here and keep your toehold and get it going. Then you'll find hopefully a longer deal later. For Vinny, he's older. So there wasn't like there'd be another contract after that, right? Or another contract after that. So he tried to get it. He didn't try it. He got his $4 million over 2 years, which is great for him. And I'm really happy, but it's not going well. And I saw it was Rick Dollywall out of a Czech in Vancouver said that, he's heard his name is out there.
That would
the challenge that his name's out there is that, he's not playing great. So is he a product of the system the Oilers had here and beat on a really good team? Or is he a guy that can produce, and be a good player on a team like that, especially when you only have, you have a second year on that contract. It's not just 1 year. There's 2 years at $2 million. Now, $2 million is not huge.
Yeah.
I feel for Vinny because I root for those guys. I love those types of players.
We got to give some love to Calvin Pickard here. Like Calvin Pickard is in the conversation as the best backup in the league. Like his numbers for the number of starts that he has and he's won 7 of 9. Like the guy is absolutely crushing it in this role that they've given him. And here he is starting against the top team in the NHL. Chris Knobloch doesn't even bat an eye. Just, throw picks in there. No problem. So you talk about this rotation they have. It's clearly not opponent-based. It's about, like, who's playing what games and how much rest, and it doesn't even matter because they just roll their backup right through the Minnesota Wild without even blinking, and Pickard has given him the confidence to do that.
Yeah, he sure has. And he's everyone talks about how well-liked he is by his teammates. And he's relishing and making the most of this, a second opportunity in the NHL. He wasn't even supposed to be here. He's not even supposed to be here. There's supposed to be another guy who was signed a couple of years ago to be here. But here he is making the most of it, and he's just being solid. And again, it's a cheap contract where you're getting more value than the contract's worth. And those are huge, huge when you're right up against the cap like the Oilers are.
Yeah. And what do you want from your backup, right? You want to have a healthy, competitive relationship with the starter that's healthy. And check, they have that, right? These guys are good buddies. They push one another. Great competition between the two of them. You have that. If you have a guy that's not going to be starting, maybe say in the playoffs, you got to have the right attitude in there. You got to have a guy that's in the right headspace, a guy that's bringing the right energy into the locker room. Like Struds, the thing about Calvin Pickard, I mean, if you were to talk to his teammates about him, the first thing they're all going to say is what an amazing guy he is. He is beloved in that room. And for a backup to come in, you check that box, but then you play like this and like, not that they, not like pushing Skinner for the starting job. I mean, whatever. Skinner's playing really well right now. Bottom line, he's right there with Skinner here.
It's incredible. And I do truly believe that he is enjoying it because he was out of the league. And when you leave the league, when you get back in, you're so thankful for all the opportunities you have. So you're going to work hard, be the best teammate, do all the things you need to. And he's the backup. I just don't think, I don't think we're seeing a goalie controversy here. I think he is the backup, but he's pushing Skinner, which is a good thing because then Stu, not that he's feeling pressure, but he's like, hey, I got to keep playing well. And Stu can have some nights off to continue to work on his game. Last year, I was beating that dead horse about how much Skinner was playing, and I thought it was not good. So hopefully this year, the numbers will work out where Stu plays less than he did last year in regular season, and Skinner goes up a bit, so that they both hit the playoffs fresh.
CK Pond making the point, Pickard can also give you a playoff start. It's a great point. Like, they know they can rely on this guy in the playoffs. Should it come to that for whatever reason, injury, whatever, knock on wood for Stu, he can go in at the most important time and he can be reliable. So they got a really nice formula happening in nets. And I just have to say, man, like, there are calls nonstop for there to be changes on the goaltending coach front. It is nonstop in this town and on these shows and all that kind of stuff. And I just feel like we need to say there are ups and downs with goaltenders, and it happens. But I think when things are going well, as things are going well with both these goalies right now, went well in the playoffs, went well last year, people need to keep that in mind. There are long stretches where things have gone well, and I think that goaltending coach needs to pull that credit for those times as well and not just take the heat when things are bad. So it's a polarizing topic, but it needs to be said. These goalies are playing well, and that guy that everybody talks about, in Schwartz, you don't hear a lot of talk about him now, Struds, and things are going well.
Yeah, well, it quiets down when things are going well, right? And that's when everything calms down. I think it's always hard. What came first, the better goaltending or the better team defense? And I think that we can say at the same time that both things improved. But it also, like the penalty kills start getting better. The power play is starting to show more signs of life the last couple of weeks. Leon, Hyman, all these things. Now, Leon was one of the first things to click in. Let's be honest. But Bouchard's play has been better. Nurse been better. Like, it's just, I don't think it's one thing. It's unfair to say this is the thing, but it all comes together, and you kind of get that playing the symphony all at the right time. And it does help everybody. When everyone's playing well, it sure makes it easier on each other to play.
All right. That was takeaways brought. Oh, no. You know what? We got to quickly. We have not talked about Alec Regula yet. Yeah. Regula, I think. Not Rugula. Rugula, I think, is like the cooking, whatever that is. Alec Regula. So picked up on waivers, Struds. Did a little digging around just to kind of get a sense for what the game is like and such. Big, 6'4", 211 pounds, right shot defenseman, former partner of Evan Bouchard's from their days back in the London Knights together. He put together some nice statistics early on in his career in the American Hockey League. This guy has put up some points at the American Hockey League level, certainly has at the junior level as well. And I can tell you this. He is comfortable switching from left to right. When he and Bouchard played together, he was the more versatile one that played left as a right shot more often. And I think for the Oilers to go get a guy that can play left and can play right, we don't know if he's a legit NHL defenseman yet. We heard Stoff talk about a potential conditioning stint, but I think there's some potential here with this player because he's big. And what I hear is he actually moves pretty well for his size and has a good shot.
Yeah, I saw a few highlights. It does look like he moves pretty well. What's crazy is that he could end up playing on Saturday, or there'd be an opportunity if his old partner's hurt. So yeah. I don't know if they'd want him to play in that game because he hasn't really, it sounds like, he's kind of hasn't played a ton. So maybe Dermott, even if he's on waivers, I don't know if he gets picked up, maybe he gets recalled, or I guess they could recall him. Actually, could they? Depends on the cap situation. But
yeah, it depends
either way,
on the cap. We need Hart Levine for that. But yeah,
there's an opportunity maybe for him to play or Dermott, whatever. If someone's got to play, if Bouchard can't play Saturday against Vegas, and what a game to get into your first action.
Yeah, big guy, not overly physical from what I understand. Doesn't engage a lot, with the 6'4" frame. More, checks with his stick type player, that kind of thing. So if you think it's a bruiser, that's not necessarily the style of play, is what I am told. But solid. Certainly with some potential to see what he might be able to do in the National Hockey League. And I love the fact that they went and got a guy that can play either side because we saw tonight, Struds, Brett Kulak started the game next to Darnell Nurse tonight. Mm-hmm. There was none of this starting him down on the third pair, moving him up there, and then leaning more into that as the game went on. They had Kulak and Nurse as a flat-out pairing right from the word go tonight. So a guy that can play either side potentially as an extra is critical for this team.
Yeah, and I love the size. I probably sound like I'm very biased towards big guys. I'm biased towards things that win. Look at all the Stanley Cup champions the last few years. Massive D-course.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that was Takeaways brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. Before we get to break, let's get to our YouTube poll brought to you by our good friends over at DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Holiday deals have arrived. Savings you don't want to miss. 50% off all in-stock clothing and footwear. Stocking stuffers galore, including Titleist Pro V1 and Sriction Z-Star golf balls, all on sale. Or for the golfer who has it all, give the gift of choice with a gift card 25 years they've been serving golfers in the area. Incredible holiday savings on now at DeBoer's. Hi, Zuby.
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic, bud. How are you making out?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, good day.
Ooh.
Another morning pod, night pod. Getting some love from people on the stream who noticed that my name got mentioned a couple times on Rain Dregs today. So
listen to you not wanting to get into specifics. Just do it. Just do it, Zuby. Don't nibble around the edges. You can say what they said about you. You can call me out. Go ahead.
Well, what are we calling you out for?
Well, did you see the one where they talked about the guy saying you needed a raise?
Oh,
that you didn't make enough money and needed to make more money? I thought that was where you were taking this.
No, that was him quoting Dreg said that, or one of them said that, said whatever we pay Zuby, it's not enough. He was referring to maybe on this one particular show because I had a lot of audio work to do on it. But
okay.
No. Good day.
Yeah.
And we got a good poll here.
Yeah.
We got a good poll here. That a little bit, the results are a little bit surprising to me actually so far. So here we go. What I was asking was, who is tonight's second star, with the number one star pretty clearly in the bag for Leon. So we said, who's tonight's second star? The options are Calvin Pickard, Ty Emerson, Connor Brown, or Darnell Nurse. And there's a host of others that could have even made that list to talk about second star, but that's who we dropped in there for the poll tonight. And yeah, everybody's getting some votes out there. I'm a little surprised at what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, Calvin Pickard, he made a couple of really nice saves and then a bunch of really steady ones. So I'm perfectly fine if that's the way it ends up going. That guy probably hasn't gotten enough flowers from us and the fan base for what he's done so far this year. All right, that is our YouTube poll brought to you by our good friends over at DeBoer's. When we come back, we got Struddy's World. We got Brownie Points. Take a lap. Core Blue Liners. There's still lots of show ahead. And by the way, send us some brownie points during the break here because Brownie's not on the show tonight. So we need your help with brownie points. Please start texting them in, and we'll get to that after Struddy's World. We'll be back after a quick break.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolanddentistry.com.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
Oh, are we doing Struddy's World?
Yeah, let's do Struddy's World.
Okay.
Roll the animation.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber House. If you're tired of those dull cookie cutter houses, you need to check out Timber House. Their designs harness the power of natural light to brighten your days and lift your spirits, because life is too short for ordinary houses and dull living. Let them build you a place with laughter and good times as part of the blueprint. Visit timberhouse.ca. Struds, what do we got tonight, my friend?
I like a stiff, stout pillow. I don't want a little thing that feels like it's a Kleenex box. I want something that's hard and durable. I want to put this big head on something that's going to hold it up. There's a lot of weight inside this thing, a lot of knowledge in there. I don't want to just floating around. Well, my wife, I love her. She's a great lady, but she tries to play the game where she swaps out my pillows. She goes and buys some new ones. You know, you got the stain, you got the oils coming out of your hair, pouring into your pillow. She doesn't like that it's stained. So without telling me, she went and changed the pillows. I had great pillows. I bought them. I bought them on sale at the Bay. They're expensive. I don't go cheap on them. I'm talking $50, $60, half price. They're hard. The other night I go put my head on this pillow. It was like laying my head on like a hand cloth. It was awful. I haven't slept right in 3 nights. It is, my neck is creaked. I got sore things. I think I have a headache, but I'm not even sure because I don't get headaches very often. Basically, when someone tells you not to change the pillows, you don't change the pillows. You're on them every night. You use them every night. There's 3 things that you're in all day, or you use a lot: pillows, your mattress, and your shoes. You don't change those things. There are, so you can want to change my clothes, want to buy me new underwear, change my my toothbrush, shocker. I don't care. But the changing of the pillows is sacred. I'm fighting back. So just so you know, I went and bought other pillows. I'm going to put those ones on my bed. Not tonight because it's too obvious. Little bit later, a couple days.
Wow. So I'm guessing that Shona is tucked away quietly in bed, sleeping right now, and cannot defend herself. My every instinct is to phone her right now to get her side of this story, because I know there is more to this than what you just displayed for everybody. So I text her. I asked her if she's still up. I can't in good conscience not let her defend herself. So if she gets back to me, we're breaking into the show and she's getting her say.
Sugar, she's broken the trust. She's broken the trust that is between two people. When you change the pillows and she knows how I feel. Like, I'll give you another example. I only wear black Calvin Klein underwear. That's all I wear. I've worn it like that for years.
We don't need that information.
It's me and the good-looking guy, who's the little actor that's kind of got the Boston accent. Anyways, he and I have always worn it.
Are you comparing yourself to Mark Wahlberg?
That's exact. He's comparing himself to me. So it's all I wear. That's all I wear. And my wife tried to get me some colorful underwear. I'm like, I don't want to wear that. Did his wife all of a sudden start telling him to wear all these fancy colors? No, he wore black. I wear black underwear. Don't change who I am. So I won that fight. The pillows.
Interesting.
You don't change someone's pillow. You don't do it. It's outrageous.
Okay. So in somewhat fairness to you, like, it would have been an option for her to just have taken hers back and got herself one that she likes, 100%. Right? Why do you two have to be using the same pillow? So I think it would probably have been fair for her to say, hey, don't love the pillow you got. I'm going to take mine back. Should I take yours back too, or are you good? So, you know, I will say I'm with you on that front.
She has a history of being the pillow changer. I know her games. We've been together a long time. And I'm sure everyone listening, that your partner has something that he or she does. And you're like, I know your games. I know all your games. Like the guy or girl who uses all the milk for their cereal bowl and leaves like a squirt left in there, puts the cap back, goes in. You fill yourself a big bowl, you open it up, you got a squirt left in there. You snap. All I was looking forward to is cereal in the morning. I can't have it now without 2 drops. Outrageous. My wife doesn't do that, by the way. She doesn't really, but I know of other people.
Zuby, what are we seeing on the stream here, buddies? Like, people are chiming in for this for sure. The pillow changer, a true serial killer, says Matt Blom. Jay Lee says, how did Struddy survive road games not sleeping on his own pillow? Have you been pillow picky your whole life?
Yeah, I found most of the hotels I stayed at had the big enough pillows to support this, right? You need something you can cradle it, right? You don't put the Stanley Cup inside of a wallet. You put it on a big thing they can carry around and make sense.
BK, I'm with Struddy. Never touch a man's pillow. I'm pillow picky as well.
Yeah.
We've got a couple that I like. There's one on each side. I often end up with both of those. God, I throw so many pillows on the floor just to get in the bed. Yeah, definitely too many pillows is an annoyance on the bed. I definitely have a bit of a beef there. Zuby, what's your pillow experience?
Yeah, I was putting that up because I'm with Gomez on that one. Why am I taking 6, 7, 8 pillows off my bed so I can get in there and just sleep on the one that I want to sleep on? Also, Sugar, I feel like we're kind of, we just kind of glossed over something you said. I just want to clarify. Did you text your friend's wife and say, "Are you up"?
Oh, that's awkward. Actually,
you know what? I did.
Oh, are you up? What are you wearing?
No, this is worse. This is worse. I gotta show you. Can you see it? You awake?
Yeah. Oh my God, that is creepy. You know what? That's creepy, actually. Really creepy. But no, so anyway, so this is just
I'm gonna fix this. Hang on. I'm gonna fix this.
You need to clarify that.
Yeah.
Sorry if this came across weird.
Sorry if it came across weird. Just say
Sorry
my
if
text
this
was
came across
creepy.
weird, I said.
Don't say if it came. It was creepy. This is a creepy text. I apologize.
No, I'm good with what I said now. I'm gonna leave it.
By the way, get your husband some real pillows. Hashtag
Yeah.
pillow talk.
All right, I'm doing it. By the way, get the big guy some real pillows.
At the Bay.
Okay,
I like
there
the
it
Bay
is.
pillows. That's where I get my pillows. The Bay.
The
Oh, you
fight
know
has been
what?
started.
There's some good, actually. There's a good set of Calvin Klein King pillows at Costco right now. Those are nice. It's a big, heavy feathery pillow. That's how I like it.
Zuby, that's too much Calvin Klein in the bed between
Okay.
my tight pants and then the thing on the head. Like my wife wouldn't be able to control herself. I'd have to sleep in a coffin.
You got to be able to get some sleep, hey?
Unreal. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber Hoss Developments. All right. Did we get some brownie points sent in on the stream? People send in some more brownie points because a little unprepared. This pillow thing threw me off. But let's get now to brownie points. Roll the happy music, Zuby. Brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Need a unique idea for your team or school's next fundraiser? Hamel's can help your organization raise money by customizing a variety of options of their world-famous jerky. With over 13 flavors in an all-new jerky and pepperoni bundle, there's something for everyone. Just in time for the holidays, the stocking stuffer package is here. 4 half-pound packs of jerky for $55. And as always, free shipping Alberta-wide. For more detail, visit albertajerky.com. I can't believe I text Shona at 10:30. You awake? Yeah, that was I wasn't even thinking on that one. Oh boy, I'm gonna give myself minus what? How many is that a minus immediately? Brownie points for that, Struds. You can pick the number. It's your wife.
I don't mind the text. It bothers me that you say if it was creepy. It was creepy. That's why you were texting. You acknowledge the creepiness by sending us a follow-up text. Just acknowledge it. So for that, I minus you 25 points. 25 brownie points for not acknowledging your creepiness.
Okay, I will own that one. -1 friend Shog, says Polly. So I get minus a friend. I'm not sure if that's Shona or Struds. I'm going to give Draisaitl 67 brownie points. 58% in the face-off circle, 4 points, 5 shots on net. That all equals 67. A dynamite night from number 29. And Draisaitl gets 67 from me.
I got one here. The Dr. Carpy giving 200 brownie points to Darnell Nurse for his 200th career assist. That's a good one.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. That's pretty awesome.
Starting over at 61 says 100 brownie points to Mrs. Strudwick for changing out the pillows. A pissy Struddy is a fun Struddy. We have seen that tonight. I agree with you. From our good buddy starting over at 61 down in Mexico.
I'm going to hand out only 6 brownie points to the Pittsburgh Penguins, who score 6 goals in the third period against the Habs. Like, that is a nightmare. I think it was 8-2 or 8-3 game, and
9-2.
They're like, hey, this is actually pretty not bad. We're okay. Bang, 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 bang. So what? It's 8-2. So you can imagine the coach, Marty Stanley, isn't going to sleep well tonight. I don't care how good the pillow quality is in his home.
100 points from McFolsitle for Struddy's Wikipedia page post. Now, Zuby, I can't help but think maybe you were behind this. You have messed around with my Wikipedia page in the past. Do you have it, Zuby? Can you put it up?
I have
what's
Struddy's,
going on with your Wikipedia, Struddy?
Where is it? Here we go.
So read it. I can't see. What does it say? It's too small.
Yeah.
This is Struddy's Wikipedia today.
It says Jason Wayne Strudwick, born July 17, 1975, is a Canadian former professional ice hockey defenseman, small furniture salesman, Mitch Marner's #1 fan, and current broadcaster.
How is this allowed to happen? Who did this?
I don't know, but it was so funny. So I did Overdrive today. I was made aware of it through a tweet someone sent me. And then then we talked about it on that show, and it started evolving over the course of the show. So I don't know. I think it's hilarious. Like I love that someone is interested enough in me to go and make that, knowing I'll think it's hilarious, because it doesn't, like, I got a text or something that must bother you. I'm like, why does it bother me? I think it's so funny that people pick up these little quirks. So I'm really flattered, actually. I think it's so funny.
It wasn't me, but I was the prime suspect, because I had just announced on our group chat that my ban from editing Wikipedia was recently lifted, and I didn't realize because I used to edit Schauger's page from time to time, and the most classic. I love this story, so I'll tell it. I changed Schauger's Wikipedia page to say he won a Mr. Tight Buns competition at Barry T's. And some of the older people in the stream will know what that is. And it's not Barry T. No, that's Barry T's is long gone. Anyway, then you were on Team 1260 or something one time, and somebody called in and said, "Is it true that you won Mr. Tight Buns competition?" On the radio.
Yeah.
and I wasn't even listening. I had a friend who knew I had changed your page called me and told me that came up on radio, so I thought that was pretty outstanding. So I was the prime suspect, but I didn't change yours, Struddy. It's a great gag. I wish it had been me.
So good. So good.
Pod goals in 5 brownie points to the Oilers for first win in Minnesota in 5 years. They were 0-6 in their last 6 visits there. We got any more, or does that wrap it? Brownie, I don't know if he would have come up with more than that. We did pretty good.
Oh, you know what I did? There was one good one, actually. Bill Hampton wanted a few brownie points. How about, let's say, 3 big brownie points for Rob Brown for sporting the backwards got your back hat on Real Kipper and Bourne. Had a good interview. So Brownie repping got your back on another pod.
Love it. Repping the pod all over the place. Fantastic. All right, that was Brownie Points brought to you by our friends over at Hamel's Premium Jerky. Strud, should we get to scoreboard before we wrap out of this segment? That's brought to you by Canadian Club in honor of the founding year of the CC Distillery, 1858 when it all started. They've got a 58 proof whiskey for you. It's the CC Classic 18-year-old high proof. Highest proof Canadian classic to date. It's full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak with a butterscotch finish that truly is so smooth. Was it 14 games on the schedule tonight? Did I count, Struds?
Yeah, there were 14 tonight, 1 tomorrow, and I think 15 Saturday. So, a couple heavy days of games. So I'll just do 3, I think, that are kind of very close to Oilers. Sure. The Bolts beat the Flames 8-3, as we highlighted earlier. Kucherov 6 points, but 3 for 3 in the power play for the Bolts. That's a tough night if you're the Flames. 3 for 3, and an elite player goes off for 6. That's a sleepless night for Ryan Huska and team. Vegas OT winners over the Jets 3-2. Most of the goals are scored by supporting cast until we got to overtime, where Barbashev popped his 14th, I think, tonight, either 11th or 14th. Either way, he's one of the guys that scores a lot of goals for them. He gets it done. And then the Preds finally get the win 4-1 over the Stars. Ryan O'Reilly, 2 goals, 1 assist. So the wily old vet centerman gets it done. And that's a big win for the Preds. It's got to buy them at least a sleepful night. A sleepful night.
Like, that is just the way that thing has gone there it's bananas. It's totally bananas. You win the offseason and then have this happen. I would have not. I didn't necessarily think they were going to be, world beaters, but for them to be where they are is pretty stunning. It just has not worked. A couple other notable Canadian teams. So Penguins thump the Habs 9-2. Habs get by the Ducks. The Leafs get by the Ducks 3-2 in that one. And then what else stood out to me as I was perusing? There was one other one. I'm trying to see which one it was that stood out. Canucks, by the way, up on the Panthers. Did you say the Canucks up on the Panthers 4-0 right now? Did you mention that?
Yeah, 2 minutes left in the game. That looks like they'll walk it off. And then, yeah.
And Preds, that's a big win for them over the Dallas Stars. Okay, busy night tonight in the National Hockey League. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on around the league coming up in our Take a Lap segment. When we come back, we'll get to our core blue liners taking a lap and ask us anything as well. So get your comments in here on the stream. Zuby will get them dialed in. Do us a favor, hit the like button while we're in commercial if you don't mind. And we got lots of content left for you. Stay with us.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
Let's talk some blue liners, shall we? Time for Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized businesses, HSE Core has your back when it comes to health and safety compliance. From creating and managing a tailored health and safety program that meets all legislation and core requirements, HSE Core supports clients' operations every step of the way. Their website, www.hsecor.com. That's hsecor.com for more information. Okay, Struds, we're going to take a look at a member of the Minnesota Wild blue line. Long-time, smaller guy, but been a real good player for a long time.
Yeah, Jared Spurgeon from Edmonton, actually, amazing talent, but very, very small. I know this player pretty well. He's a good skater. He's quick on his feet. He gets out of trouble and kind of makes little plays. But I think his best asset is his intelligence and his head on a swivel. As you watch him play, he's constantly looking around for the next play with or without the puck. His head is on the swivel. He's darting to the right area. He understands where to be because he is quite frankly wildly undersized to play in the NHL. But he's been a very good defenseman for a long time because he's so smart and he kind of rides where he needs to be before anyone else knows he has to be there. So poised, smart, doesn't have a bomb. He's not like crazy fast, but he makes it all work because of his brain. He is a super intelligent player and obviously a good leader for that team as the captain.
Yeah, certainly have to be when you're that size. He's got, closing in on 900 NHL games as a 5'9" defenseman. That's pretty impressive. High water mark for him, two Struds. Looks like 43 points, I want to say, is the high water mark for him. So it's not like he's been crushing it as an offensive defenseman. Often it's these smaller guys, it's all offense all the time. But like that's not necessarily what it's always been for him. A couple 40-point seasons. Looks like he had a 14-goal season, but it's not like he's a 70-point defenseman and, he's all offense. Like there's a well-rounded game there to stay in the league that long. Yeah, I think he's just like I said, if you try to pick one word as when I do these to nail a player down and just intelligence. That just screams when you watch him play. You look at some players that are just bulls in China shop, like Fogle. I think Fogle's just a bull. He's bullying himself. He's bullying wherever he wants to go on the ice. Intelligence is the word I use to describe this player. Yeah. They missed Brodin too. Brodin is an understated defenseman on this team, hey? Yeah. Brodin. And they definitely missed him tonight. Well, two 20-minute defensemen, right? Middleton and Brodin both out. Like you take out Nurse and Ekholm out of the Oilers lineup and you play the Wild with their full lineup. What does it look like? So again, I don't want to take points away for the Oilers win. I believe no matter who was in the lineup, they would have beat them the way they played tonight. But just understand they had two really good D-men out of the lineup. And Middleton, I don't know. I'm guessing broken hand, buddy. That's probably 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. Didn't look great. That was our Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. All right. Lots going on around the league, so let's dive into a couple of items and take a few laps. Brought to you by Aecon. Got 150 years in the construction industry. One of Canada's original leaders in heavy industrial contracting. Proudly operating across Canada, across North America, but here in our city. Here in Edmonton, they've got a massive presence, and they're always looking for great laborers, great workers. So if you are looking for a job, or if anybody you know is looking for a job, aecon.com is the website, and you click Join Our Team. It'll give you a nice big list of all the openings that they have in this area, in this city, in this region, and really all the way across the country. So great company to work for. Check it out, aecon.com, and click Join Our Team. Struds, where we want to take our laps tonight, buds?
Well, let's start with Trevor Zegras and the Ducks. He's out for 6 weeks. Kind of took an awkward fall the other night. Like there's nobody around him. And, you see, he just kind of fell backwards off of a draw. And turns out, I believe it was his meniscus. Had to get some surgery on it. So he's out 6 weeks, which seems kind of quick for any kind of knee surgery. But he's out. And I feel for this guy. Came in with so much excitement. I think he's trying to figure out how to play the game a little bit differently with maybe more determination in some of those harder areas. And it's, he okay start, Sugar, I guess I'd say, okay. But now he's set back 6 weeks and be back. What does that take him to February 1st? Let's just call it to make the math easy. So he's out and trying to find his way and kind of play a different game, but I'm not sure that's who he is or maybe who he wants to be.
4 goals and 6 assists. He's got 10 points in 24 games. He's -7.
Yeah.
Plays under 17 minutes a night. Under 17 minutes a night. And we've talked about him a fair amount on this show. I know that he does not have a well-rounded game, but it just clearly is not working with this coach either, hey?
Yeah. And he had another coach, right? And was it working under him? It's just
Dallas.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard because
he had 61 and 65 points. He had 61 and 65 point seasons, very young, 23 goals. 23 goals 2 years in a row, and his points in the 60s. He's on pace for 35.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he forgot how to play the game. And I'm not saying it's not on the player, but, there's been injuries there clearly, but he has not been anywhere near the player that he was under the last head coach. So yeah, is most of that on him? Probably, but clearly it's not working.
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go to another player who struggled early in now is starting to find his game, at least Pettersson out of Vancouver. And he was post-game. Tick Tockett was asked about Pettersson and how he's playing. And Rick the Rocket Tockett gave this response to a question from the reporter.
With JT Miller due back soon, what can you say about the way PD has elevated his game in JT's absence?
Yeah, that's what you expect him to do, right? He's doing a good job producing. I don't know what else to say. You guys are obsessed with PD, yeah? It's PD every game. Sorry.
You get paid a lot. You're always going to be part of the story.
But every game, I gotta. You guys are good at it. You analyze the game. Why do I have to? When I ask questions at TNT, I never always, hey, this player. That's just.
We'll let you ask us the next time.
It just gets. I love you guys, but it gets old. Every time, PD. Because you guys, I know you want to say the wrong thing. That's why. I'm not falling for that trap anymore. I got fallen. But I'm joking. That is a legitimate question. He's producing. I'm screwing around with you. He's been producing that JT's been out. Hopefully with JT coming back, those guys will both produce like they did last year for us. So yeah, 1-2 punch.
So just so you know, that's Farhan Lalji he's going at there. Farhan's been in that market for about 30 years. Completely fair question. That is classic aggressive passive. Right?
Yeah.
Aggressive passive. You come out hot, you have a bunch to say, you say your thing, and then you're like, I'm just messing around with you. I don't know. I think Rick Tockett's great. We covered him during that playoff series last year. He's really good with the media. But I didn't love this, Struds. Why do that? Why do that? Just talk about your star player. You're the head coach of the team, and it's not like the reporter's criticizing the player. He's putting you in position to compliment him. And yet you're going to get all frustrated and make a scene like that goes viral, and we're talking about it everywhere now. Why do that?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of conversation around Pettersson to start the year. Well, quite frankly, to end the year last year, then to start the year this year. And the players kind of found his groove again. So maybe Tockett's tired of talking about him, right? Just
yeah.
What more is there to say? His play is doing the talking. So maybe he's just give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I talked about him, let's call it since Christmas last year, and then the first month this year, Sugar, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess what I would say is, he's a star player, makes an absolute pile of money, is a story every day. Reporters need to get content. Chris Knobloch can't get tired of answering questions about Connor McDavid. I mean, like they're star players, and reporters ask you questions about your team every single day. So I just don't understand why be combative about it, especially when the reporter was just asking you to be complimentary to the player. The idea was, how good has he been while JT Miller's been away? Why is that problematic to address that in a meaningful way and then just full stop? You know what I mean? Like, why create the issue unless it's an issue for you?
Yeah, no, it might be. If I was talking, I said, yeah, he's playing great. We've needed to play great. He's turned it around. Boom, walk off.
That's what he said. That's what he said. And then he just couldn't contain himself.
Yeah.
He's like, boy, all about Petey, eh? All about, like, what are you thinking if you're Elias Pettersson watching that? Are you like, why does he have a problem complimenting me?
Because I think he's had to defend him and prop him up for months. It's annoying. Like talking about the same. It's just after a while, like, enough. I don't want to talk about this guy anymore. Just give me a break. Just give me a few off nights here without talking about this guy.
You're in the wrong vocation. And if you think reporters are going to not ask about Elias Pettersson,
but it's different. So you compare him to McDavid. For McDavid, he's never plays bad, or if he does, he has a slump for like a couple games. This guy was off from Christmas on, and then till I'd say the second month of the season this year. So imagine how many times we're talk about him. You know, play him, talk about him. It's like, enough. Like, he's going. Just let me have a break. You can see he's playing good. Like, he's playing well. What do you want him to say?
Yeah, just say he's playing well and then move on. That would be my recommendation.
But why is the question if we all know he's playing well?
Farhan's got a job to do, Struds. Like,
but there's other storylines.
We have jobs to do. I don't love. I mean, you got to go in there and you got to ask the questions. They have these availabilities. These are important players on the team. Like, you got to ask the questions.
But so would you ask the same question about McDavid tonight? He had a good game. So you don't have to ask a question about him. Ask about things that are maybe going on around him. To be fair, I didn't watch that game. So I don't know how Pettersson played or others, what other storylines might have been around it. But if he's not the central figure, maybe it feels like you're asking about a question, wasn't really a central figure in the game tonight. Maybe there's another opportunity to bring someone else up.
But with JT Miller coming back, Elias Pettersson holding down the fort and playing really well in his stead,
right?
That is a story. And if you're telling the story about JT Miller's absence and his return, Elias Pettersson doing what he did is a story. And as a journalist, you go in there to tell that story. I mean, and Tocchet at the end was like, it's a fair question. I get it, right? So I think Tocchet realized what he did was unnecessary and backtracked. That was my read on it anyways. But I'm the reporter in the room that has to ask the questions all the time. So maybe I'm a little bit more, I'm a little bit more sensitive to the idea that it's easy for people to just go, well, why are you asking that? Or why wouldn't you ask this or ask that? When you're in there doing it every day, like, we have a job to do, but it needs to be done a certain way. So I'm maybe a little defensive for Farhan on this one.
No, I get it. I get it, man. You guys have a really hard job. I totally agree.
We're not digging ditches.
No, but you got to ask questions after hard games. And I question maybe people, they think it's easy to ask. Why don't you ask about this? Well, that's a pretty hard question to ask. And you go in there and ask, you're going to get sometimes an angry response, right?
Yeah, for sure. All good. We got any other stops or that's it? We're done taking laps?
They're done. Yeah.
We are done. That was brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. What say you about all this? We get any action on that topic on the stream, Zuby, about what Rick Tocchet just had to say? Let's get to our Ask Us Anything segment, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Founded in 1976, BJ Electric Supplies, a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. Hop on in here, Zuby. You want to wrap the poll first so we don't forget, or what do you want to do?
Well, let's just quickly on the topic we were just talking about. Davin said, Schauger has Farhan's back, and that's fair. There's another good comment here from starting over at 61. He said, it's the same story as Dry holding down the fort when McDavid was hurt earlier this season. I'm sure there was no shortage of chatter on that topic. And Matt Blom with a great Star Trek 4 reference. Oh, but there was two parts to this. Oh, when Farhan said, I wanted to add the second part. It's not Star Trek 4 with the computer asking Spock, how do you feel?
Yeah, right. He did ask that one. Saw that.
Sorry, a little random. But I saw that reference and I was very excited. Okay, so let's do the results of the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. The question tonight was, who was tonight's second star? Well, we had over 500 votes. Huge numbers on the stream tonight. Glad to have everybody with us. And Calvin Pickard kind of ran away with this one, 53% of the vote. Ty Emberson came in second, 23%. Darnell Nurse third at 18%, and Connor Brown trailed off with 5%. And Nurse I was saying in the first time we had the poll up, I was a little bit surprised by the results because Nurse had a very high, Nurse had 28% for a little while there and tailed off, but obviously people liking a bunch of the fellas' games here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
All right, so we kind of touched on this, but I wondered, CK Pond goes into a little bit more depth. If Bouchard doesn't play Saturday, who draws in, and what do you think the pairings are, basically, is what this boils down to.
Interesting. Yeah, Struds, but we never really got into that. What would you do? You give Kulak the look up there with Ekholm?
Man, that's
Nurse
Vegas.
Emberson?
That's not an easy one. Yeah, probably. That's
Stetcher
probably
and the new
it.
guy?
Then Stetcher and the new guy, I guess, or maybe Dermott if he doesn't get picked up. He gets recalled. Like, I don't know how that, again, cap-wise, I'm not sure that'll all work out, but
yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a tough thing to go. I don't know. Just the way I saw Bouchard going off, when you're limping and you go off that slowly, like it's not usually good. You're not shaking that off, right? So
now,
I don't know for sure.
There is a chance, like, I mean, maybe it was a weird collision. Maybe he just banged it. Like it could just be like a. Yeah. Like, I don't know that was there a bad twist in there? Was a bad, or, you know, like when you smash your knee and it's like, sure. Whoa, you know what I mean? Maybe it's going to be hard to, so it wasn't one of those ones we looked at and went, oh, the knee, right?
Like lining in the preseason.
I wasn't sure what it was. Yeah, exactly.
Like lining the preseason, that would look gross. And you're right. Maybe if there wasn't a twist, you know, who knows? It's a conversation you have to have. You have to think about it. If you lose one of those top four guys, and assuming Emerson's your fifth, you know, where does everybody probably just slot up? Everyone just slots up, and you go from there.
Zuby, what else, bud?
Yeah,
Pod goals in on this same sort of topic, assuming that Regula draws in, saying, what an indictment on the guy we gave 3x1 to, referring, of course, to Josh Brown. I mean, there's no need to pile on here, but that doesn't seem to be in there for them to pick him up on waivers. That's not good for Josh Brown, right?
Good point. But again, let's think about it. 3 times 1, it doesn't disrupt anything. It just costs Daryl Cates money. It doesn't make a difference. And maybe they really want him to be a tweener between here and the AHL, right? It protects some of their young guys down there. Like, you never know all the situations that are going on there, guys.
I would love to know when they said, 3 times 1 for Josh Brown in their war room while they're sitting there chatting, what their vision of how much time he would spend in the NHL was during that 3 years, Struds. Like, and I don't know what the answer is. Were they sitting there going, he can be R7 for 3 straight years? Or were they thinking, hey, we need somebody to take care of people, play solid. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe people don't quite grasp how critical it is to have good guys, veteran guys that can take care of people on the farm. Like, those are critical roles.
Yeah. And just a good veteran. Like, I believe when he signed it, I think I said he'll be lucky to play 40 games a year, right? And they could play half the games. And I think I said that. But either way, he's in the minors, and that's kind of where he's going to be, right? But you
gotta wonder, like, would he have been willing to do 3 times 8, 25? You know what I mean?
Does it make a difference though? Like, where's the money? It doesn't really. You can have. It's right. It doesn't count on the cap. So for him? It's great. I'm glad he got the $1 million. Maybe he's worth $750, but it doesn't change things for the cap situation where they need him the most.
Yeah, good point by you.
When you refer to Regula as Rugula, and of course, I brought this in earlier, but I had to. This is such a great comment. Stay Puff 39 says, scouting report on arugula, leafy green, peppery edge, big potential in salads. Very funny. So I had to give that.
Stay put.
We're putting we're teeing them up here for Struds. Bill Hampton said 2 seconds left on that PK, Strud. He missed it by that much. They would have been 3 for 3 What did you think of? We'll tee this one up for you. What did you think of the PK tonight, Struds?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously, it's too bad, but I mean, they're moving well, and a lot of different people are contributing in it. And I like that. I think it's trending in the right direction. Beside the power play, but unfortunately, I think that's 2 out of 3 games they've been nicked up now. Is it 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3? Either way, it doesn't help your percentage when you're giving up 1 out of 3, right? That's 66%.
Mm-hmm. There was just back to the Ekholm top pairing, somebody pointing out, sorry, I can't find it. I just lost it again, but he made the point that Emberson and Ekholm play together on the penalty kill and play together pretty well. So maybe Emerson gets a look, which, hey man, fighting mad. By the way, do you think, Struds, that Ty Emerson taking a scrap and going tonight has anything to do with the Oilers picking up a right shot defenseman here on waivers? Like, do you think that he just, you kind of keep those things in mind, right? Like you got to scrap for your place at the table sometimes.
I don't, it could be, but it's not like either one of these two players is a fighter. Right. It's not like you're not fighting and there's a guy they picked up who's a fighter. So yeah, it could be. But I like that point made by that text, because then I'd put Kulak and Nurse together, who are together already, and then Emerson and Ekholm. But Emerson, we get a ton of ice time, a ton. And then who runs the power play? Probably Nurse or Ekholm.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to. Well, you probably go both of them with the top unit. Do you go Nurse and Ekholm with the top unit, and then no, you don't. Kulak, give Kulak a look. He scored a reasonable amount this year too.
Yeah. I think I'm guessing. I'm just guessing it'd be Ekholm probably, and then Nurse and Kulak on the second pairing. Just,
you know what I might think of doing, Struds?
Yeah.
I'm just blue skying this idea as we're talking about it right now.
Don't say it. Don't say 5 forwards. Do not say it.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, good.
I'm not a dumbass.
Okay, good.
Give it to Darnell Nurse. Let him do it.
Sure.
He's played well lately. He's holding up his end of the bargain. He's done it before. Lean into Darnell Nurse right now when he's playing the best hockey of his life. Give him the power play with those 4 forwards and just see what happens. And then go Ekholm and Kulak on the second unit.
And honestly, physically, he can handle the extra minutes. Not that Ekholm can't, but Ekholm isn't, he's not getting any younger. So I think that's a great point.
Couple more, Zuby, and we'll wrap it.
Yeah, we got still a couple more interesting ones to get here. Noel Rinsky says, ask us anything. Is it possible for a team like the Oilers to win a game 7-1 when they get out hit 23-8? Asking for a friend, Ryan R.
Yeah, I saw some of that on the stream tonight. Listen, I'm not changing my position. I don't think it's a difference between winning and losing night to night. And can you win games when you don't play very physical during the regular season? Yes. This is my point. There's a certain way you need to be able to play at the most important time of year. And if your team is not equipped to play that way and you meet the wrong opponent, you're in serious trouble. And this team is not equipped to play that style of game right now, the way they play night in, night out. And to me, I think it is concerning. So they're going to win games where they're not physical. This is regular season hockey. You catch the wrong opponent in the playoffs and you can't function in that environment, and you're in trouble.
Daniel McCallum and a few other folks brought this up as well, but this was the one I grabbed. Wants to know, I'd like to hear what you guys think about Leon Draisaitl in the Selke race.
Oh,
I mean, he could be on every race right now, the way he's playing. I think that there's a strong case for me made in both Hart and the Selke trophy.
Yeah, I mean, when he has a game like he has tonight, Struds, where he's so on it at both ends, you see that there is a Selke trophy winner there. Like, he has that ability in his game.
Right.
I would say that he doesn't necessarily maybe put as much focus in the defensive end as your average Selke trophy winner might go out and put out there night in, night out. But he certainly has the ability to do it if he wants to.
And he could be going after the Lady Byng since he took that penalty he got benched for. I think he's as someone said, he's only taken 1 or 2.
It's been squeaky clean.
1 or 2
Squeaky
penalties
clean since then, yeah.
Here's an interesting thought from the doc. He says, Podkolzin is everything you thought Kostin would be, except better. Can Podkolzin make Oiler fans stop romanticizing about Klim Kostin? Or how do you feel about that?
I don't agree with that. I think, I don't know what you thought Kostin was going to be. I thought Kostin would be a decent energy fourth line player that could get into some scraps and bang in the odd goal. I wondered if Podkolzin might be able to be a top 9 player or even moonlight in the top 6 this year. I never expected that from Kostin.
100%. I agree with you totally.
Yeah.
So different stratospheres to begin with.
For sure.
I would say, yeah. I never thought of Kostin the way I thought Podkolzin might fit in.
Oilers Always on X says, remember Kajula's knee on Kaprizov 2 weeks ago? Yeah, so did Hartman. Do you think there could be any callback to that game?
Yeah. Could be. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Unfortunately, Bouchard took it. But it doesn't mean you have to like it, right? You just don't have to like it.
Yeah.
I would love to see a response from someone. It's so dirty. So dirty.
Yeah, Kajula had to drop the gloves, right? When he did that. But
and who did he fight? He fought Boldy, right? Fought Boldy. Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Yep. You got one more, Zuby, or we wrapped?
Yeah, no, let's do one more. Non-Oilers CK Pond said, Zegras needs a change of scenery. We're kind of touching on this, but his value cannot be very good right now. So who's that other player out there? Who's the 1-for-1 when you kind of see whatever you saw, line A, the line A trade to Columbus and who's that trade out there for Trevor Zegras?
I don't know. It'd be a little lopsided, but I mean, it's kind of got that like Kirby Doc feel to it, Struds.
That's the exact name.
Top 10, 12 pick that just is having a hard time working out, and but I don't know that Anaheim would do that. You need. It's been a couple of stops for Doc now, right? So that's probably not high end enough.
No, and Zegras has got $6 million, right? He makes $6 million for this year, next year, and then he's an RFA, and you got to figure that out. Like that's a big hit. This is a tough one. Someone's going to trade for him for sure. They're going to trade for him for sure.
Capo Caco. Yeah,
I can't see the Rangers don't have the cap space to take that on.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially with what they're about to pay their tender.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our play of the day to wrap up the show. Take the first step towards a stress-free dental experience. At Gallery Dental, they provide modern dentistry for today's patient with the most up-to-date dentistry, sedation, implants, and so much more. Contact GalleryDentalYEG.com. Struds, what are you thinking for today, buddy?
Happened a couple nights ago. Jana Bugler, the mama of Teddy Bluger from Latvia, she won the 50-50 at the Canucks game. She wasn't there. Some friends were there. They bought the ticket, and she didn't really know what it was about, but she bought it, and she won $100,000. So a player from the Canucks' mother won the 50-50 at their building. I was howling when I saw that.
That's pretty awesome.
So funny. He was asked if she thought he'd get a better Christmas gift, and he said no. Jana would not be getting him a better Christmas gift.
It was $100K? $100K was the range that it was?
That's $106,000 or something.
Wow. You can pay for your own tickets from now on, Ma. Honorable mention tonight, I do have to say, honorable mention for most impressive thing tonight was the first 3 minutes of Struddy's podcast tonight, Zuby. Like, that is up there with as good as much as what has happened today.
It was fierce and fiery. I haven't changed the logo because is this the breakdown? Struddy's just running with this. He's off like a shot. So it was fabulous. I think I got my whole first promo right there. I won't have to dig too deep.
Boom, done. Cut that. Just clip that minute and a half and go to bed, Zuby. Good job tonight, big guy. I appreciate it, buddy.
Likewise. Talk to you guys Saturday.
Okay,
Saturday.
Sounds good. Zuby, nice work, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, pal. Fun one. Lots of people in the stream. We're going to have closing this out with almost 2,000 visits on YouTube alone. So,
Struddy, when you crawl into bed and lay your head down on that crappy pillow, give Shona a little nudge and say hi from me. Okay, buddy?
Yeah. The creep says hi. She'll know who it is.
Thanks to all of you for joining us on the live stream tonight. We had an amazing audience tonight, and we just so appreciate it. Struds and I talk all the time about how blown away we are by all the people that are hopping in on this thing, Zuby. We love you. We appreciate you. So thank you. And we'll talk to you again in a couple of days. And a big thanks to our title sponsor, Play Alberta. See you soon.